Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Play Miles Edgeworth. God dang it, Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Last time, well, we did some more talk about the old smuggling ring, and one person's account is called into suspicion because we have reason to believe that Agbe Hicks died before a certain someone said they saw him at his seat. So we're about to question them. Miss Meal. Miss Meal. Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier about when you answered some service calls as we were departing from Zhang Fa? Huh? You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible, because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched down in Zhang Fa. Oh? Miss Cammy Meal! Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did? No one can make a mistake so large, Miss Meal. But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time. This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Meal, if you please, tell me about your alibi during the time span, from just before we were to land at 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. when the body was found. Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth? Is she playing dumb now? Oh my god. Miss Meal's alibi. Yeah. From 3 to 4, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. Yeah. From 5 to 6, I was, in the flight attendant's room all by my lonesome self. How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? Miss Meal, wake up! She fell asleep again. It looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her. This is ridiculous. Oh my god, that's part of the... Okay. Press. If I remember correctly, food was being served in first class in the lounge between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m. Jesus Christ, what the... That ain't... That's breakfast. Yeah, but that kind of stuff's run by Miss Rhoda. Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time? Eating and then having a most delicious dream. You mean you were neglecting your duties? No way, sleeping's part of our job too, you know. Oh my god. Oh, but by herself, that's... It's like an alibi we can't break. So you were alone the entire time, were you? Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi. Oh? Well, I think a contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Do I have... anything? Left in the attendance room between 5 and 6. Raise an objection. Miss Meal, there was a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony. Huh? What are you talking about? It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. Because... Wait, where is it? Oh, the receipt. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Huh? A receipt? For what? It's for the suitcase Miss Tenero bought. Now, if I may direct your attention to the timestamp. As you can see, it clearly says 5:40 a.m., Miss Tenero. Yes? Huh? Why is the killer here? I thought she'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Miss Tenero, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in flight shop, correct? Yes, I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which, I went straight to the attendant's room to drop it off. And did you see Miss Meal there at that time? No. So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Cammy Meal! Huh? The bathroom? I'll be the one to ask the questions here. Yeah, maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? It's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance and hear me out? Reason for suspicion. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew. But you think then maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too? She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard in the shop, you know. If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please leave Miss Tenero out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? One-track mind, and that's justice. Never mind. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. Now's not the time for this sort of talk. Oh, shit. Okay. Alright, you suspect me because I'm one of the crew, but you think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. It's a rhyme. Press. And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendant's room. That doesn't count. Aw, but I spent so much time in there, might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages, so she assists passengers who may not speak English. Especially those who speak Borginian. She's the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place? What else could I have meant? Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian. She's fluent in Borginian. I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian? Yeah, I take care of anything that has to do with Borginian. Very interesting. Some Borginian stuff. So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borginian stuff? I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian. Cammy is the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Meal, I take it then that it is your job to process all the Borginian paperwork. Yeah, see, I totally pull my weight around here. So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work, and... Miss Meal is very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else. That's not what I'm doing at all. I'm just saying that Miss Rhoda is very sus. There you go, pushing everything onto her again. Were they using sus before it was cool, or was that, like, just an actual, like, interruption? I don't get what you're saying. Must be a really abstract concept, huh? The only thing abstract here is the landscape inside your head. Damn. Like, ruthless. Borginian stuff. Do I have anything in Borginian? Maybe this. It's in Burgundian. Oh, so she processed a fake. So she knew it was a fake then. So you're the only one in this flight crew that speaks Burgundian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Burgundia for a while. If that is the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose: to lead anyone who read it to believe that Mr. LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Burgundian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Elif Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you! Oh shit! The demeanor changed. Oh my god. Bubbles. So, what, in Japan, would that have been like a cigarette or something? Well, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth. Phrasing? It is exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegation of smuggling stick. There's no direct correlation after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Yeah, like even the speech patterns changed too. Oh shit. It's on a poppin' sun? Really? All you did was sign it? I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So, sorry about that. Seems that she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. Suppose, and this is just a supposition, even if I was involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me just like that. Objection! If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of an investigation regarding a smuggling ring. And just when he was about to close in, he's killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever... Oh my god. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda's the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there is some element of a setup at play in this case. What are you talking about? Don't worry, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First it was myself, and now it's Miss Chinero who's under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Chinero from the very beginning. It's going to be the suitcase. Because the body was going to be found in it, the cloth was found in it. She buys a suitcase every time. The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck to the first floor. However, why go through the trouble to do so? The only way all of these actions make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Chinero for the murder. Miss Chinero buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with the one containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. Unfortunately for the killer, the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, they made do it whoever was at hand, adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That's because of the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. What special circumstance dictated the need for the killer to frame someone? It was when the murder took place. The murder took place before the movie was scheduled to go on. Around that time, almost all the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had to choose someone who was not at their seat to frame. Isn't that an explanation for how the killer chose Fu and not Vi they had to? Well, I thought it best to start from there. If you're going to talk about completely unrelated matters, do you mind if I take a nap? You fucking... Okay, alright. So it wasn't when. Oh, the special circumstance was where then? It wouldn't be the fact that it was Hicks. The special circumstance is simply that the murder took place on a plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age, so no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Miss Tenero or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of the criminal's movements is not Miss Tenero or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you and you alone could be the killer. And... Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that's still unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. The missing cell phone. Because that is just, like, there. I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Franziska? You were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? They're going to have Franziska call the number. Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Plus, that looks like a Nokia, brick. Them shits don't break. They can kill. Franziska, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Agent Hicks's phone. It's ringing from somewhere, sir. I hear, detective. Now, where's it coming from? Is it going to get louder as I... Oh, I was hoping it would get, quieter or louder. So that the phone is up in the flight attendant's room. But hurry to the flight attendant's room, sir. The ring is coming from somewhere in here, sir. Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. I'm gonna take a wild guess to say the lockers. It's coming from in here, sir. What? No, it can't be. This has got to be the victim's cell phone. Just, whose locker is this, sir? It's Miss Tenero's. What? Did Cammy slide it in? So, Mr. Edgeworth, how did it go? Where'd you find the phone? I found it in the flight attendant's room. In Miss Tenero's locker. What? But... Rhoda Tenero? I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me! Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenero right away. Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the key card. When the killer went to steal the key card, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenero's locker at the same time. Objection! This is related to the key card, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. Nah. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Franziska's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright then, why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on or in it. Hold it. What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to our killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. Cracked screen. This will be the switch that opens the phone. Oh, it's one of them like little flip to the keyboard things. I had one of those. Wow, screen cracked on the front and back. Jesus. When did they start putting keyboards like these into cell phones? Hey, it's one of those computer cell phones they started selling recently. Computer cell phones? Yeah, it's got a computer in it and it's a cell phone. I mean, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? All you need in a phone is the phone part, nothing more. Oh, well, I know who's against technology. Guess yours can't even send out email. Talk about inconvenient. Do you have a problem with what I do and do not care for, detective? No, sir. They say simple is best. Edgeworth up here not keeping up with... Wow. The LCD is broken. On a screen you can't even place a call with this. Ah, it's a camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly was Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene of the smuggler? Franziska, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures? Yes. Mr. Edgeworth, can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir. This looks like a very similar model to my own, and mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence for his smuggling case. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler. The phone's all busted up, sir. Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone. I'll find a way, don't you worry about that. May I go back to sleep now? The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Franziska? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. Oh. And then they can still get like the SD card out of it. This phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screens are broken. It's possible that the photos are still there inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Oh yeah, USB connected up to a computer? Oh shit. Franziska, your phone if you please. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. This is... Agent Hicks was most certainly trying to obtain some evidence for his smuggling case. Hey, the leaf red's nowhere in this pic, sir. But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right? Ouch, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks' killer, sir. No. We can. The picture wasn't in, or the sculpture wasn't in there, meaning he took this picture before the refueling in Zhangfa. Is this it? Is this the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? The guardrail looks exactly the same as it does now. The rail is entirely too low. I even almost fell to my death. However, I was saved in a miracle-like manner. Perhaps that is what to run away from death by the skin of one's gum means. Try to narrowly escape death by the skin of one's teeth, Shakespeare. Now then, there must be something in this photo. The fact that all of the suitcases are here in this photo is odd. Agent Hicks was still alive at the time, so what exactly so odd about suitcases that have been used yet being there? Yes, well, I was only pointing out things that are different between now and then. Your off-topic ramblings have put this attendant to sleep yet again, Miles Edgeworth. I'll give Sleepyhead here a rude awakening, a deafening objection, and a contradiction. What's all this? Oh, they are cargo shipped from Borginia to Zhangfa. So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zhangfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there is no English written on them anywhere. One cluster of boxes is written in Borginian. It says... It is cloth in English. Cloth. Could it be? Is this where the killer... What? What for is that scary face? Miss Meal? Yes? It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that will point out who his killer is. Ha! Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading off a simple picture, Mr. Edgeworth. The beginning of cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. It will? I don't know. Maybe it's the statue? But no, that won't point us to the killer. That just points to a time. No! It does! It's the cloth! Because it's Borginian cargo, it's in Borginian. Rhoda wouldn't know that was cloth because she can't read Borginian. And what is that supposed to prove? The killer used his piece of cloth to wipe out the blood they had spilled. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did it come from? And now I have finally found my answer in this very photo. The cargo that was unloaded in Zhangfa had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camille. Ha! That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is in English or Borginian. Sorry, but I cannot agree with your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature. Because there wasn't a mess. What? There's no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then... Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. Bed sheets! Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir. Precisely. And bed sheets would be perfect for cleaning up blood, wouldn't you say? So what are you trying to say? And if I were the criminal, this box of bed sheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold, so they were afraid to leave signs that the box for the sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zhangfa? That's right. That is why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camille. You and you alone. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zhangfa authorities in time. You may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So, what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zhangfa? She's calm. Or not. That was... He was in Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I We solved the case, guys. We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir. Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that? I'm taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Never we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir. She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure, the ring behind this whole mess means serious business. Looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Oh! And is this tied to the painting in the first case? Where, like, dude shot at it? Or maybe not. I might be reading too much into that. Mr. Edgeworth. I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer. Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. Remember, we here at iFly Airlines are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue no matter where you go. Can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir. Boy, was it fun. Speak for yourself. My day was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges. By the way, where's Franziska? Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure. Departure? Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding her case. Detective, can you cancel the car I had you reserve earlier? Got it, sir. Franziska. I thought I told you when you first landed I have no time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. Also, I have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You're Franziska von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Till only a little while ago I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing Pierrot living her life on the name and fame her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I'm on the trail of is a little more than troublesome than most. The smuggling route to be found this time is only one sliver of the big picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. Really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there's another agent on this case with me. Oh? Another agent? He's a star among Interpol agents and has the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows, you may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths. I suppose. But I doubt he would say the same. Not following you. You'll understand soon enough. The fight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure I'll pay you back. In full. And just like that, she's gone out, sir. Thank goodness. Finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for her whip. Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation. Oh, it was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. I think I'm gonna celebrate by having a little extra salt in my instant noodles tonight. How much did you cut his salary by, Franziska? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office. Sure thing, sir. I'm gonna fly down the road in the patrol car if you want. Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Thus I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Franziska von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of that ring had already put their trump card into play, and the players on the other side of this war. They would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Finally, I called who knows how many times early, but I couldn't get through. And you are? Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy? Mr. Armano? Ernest Armano, correct? No idea who that is. Ah, so you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son. He's been kidnapped. Oh. Alright. The fuck is going on? We'll find out next time in the Kidnapped Turnabout. That is a name and a half. Yes. The Kidnapped Turnabout. Anyway. Yeah, don't have much else to say about that there trial. That was a good one. I really liked her design, like with the whole like when the facade dropped and she was just like crime boss with the cigarette, or sorry, the bubble wand. I'm just curious, like, come on, trivia section, cultural references. So it wasn't like originally when aggravated, Mio's hair was to turn to a large, intimidating form, similar to that of the ghost of Dahlia Hawthorne. Sketches show the plush toy she carries as being a teddy bear with some designs and a rabbit in others. Oh, during the breakdown, the iFly doll is holding its hat while being flung. Her sleep snot bubbles might make sense in the game's original Japanese release. Bubbles snot from one nostril, inflated character breathing and snoring. So, no, that wasn't a localization change. So she had bubbles even in Japan? Huh. Alright. Well, okay, guess not then. Guess that was a thing over there too. Alright then. But yeah, looks like my hypothesis was indeed correct too. The big cleavage. Sometimes they tend to be evil. I mean, look at Senran Kagura. Half of them are evil. Though, I mean, the other half aren't, but, you know, details. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. Next time, the Kidnapped Turnabout. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. See you next time for some more Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. I think I got it right that time. Alright, goodbye.